for Islamic prayers that the non-Muslim employees did not get. And the non-Muslim employees protested and said, now you're discriminating against us, and we have to work longer hours so that the Muslim employees can go pray. And the EEOC said that was fine. That's Sharia. And nobody is saying it. Nobody is naming what is happening here. Nobody is putting a face to the evil. But our freedoms are being encroached upon, and they are going to be taken away from us unless we stand up. And so James is absolutely right. Organize, 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 and call it what it is. This is everything that's happening to Rifqa, everything that is happening in all these initiatives all over the country, assertions of Islamic law. And we have to stand up and say no to Sharia in the United States. We are standing for freedom, for religious freedom, for the freedom of conscience, the freedom of speech, the freedom to the equality of rights of all people under the law. All these things are denied in Sharia. All these things are the genius moves of the founding fathers. We live in the greatest country on earth. We have to stand up and defend it now, or we're going to lose these freedoms. And you are the people who know if the job, it's up to us. We are the ones that have to do it. And we will prevail. We know the truth is on our side. The right is on our side. We know that if we can tell the truth, we will win. We must absolutely persist. Never give up. Never be turned aside. Despite any obstacle, despite any setback, we will never give up. Thank you for coming.
Okay, one last thing. I just want you to be aware of the fact that what's happening to Rifqa is Sharia. I mean, this is female apostasy. They have to be imprisoned until they recant. This is what's happening to her. There's no other way to describe what the house arrest that Rifqa is under. It's shocking. I would like one last person to speak, a dear friend of Rifqa's, Jamal Javanji, who was there when she was struggling to leave Islam and had to deal with it, and she was hiding for 4 years, as if that wasn't torture enough. Jamal, will you come up and say a few words? I appreciate it.
It is really good. I was wondering if anybody was going to show up today, so it is good that you guys have come out and braved the weather and just to show your support. We've received a lot of support from all over the world. It's been pretty quiet here in Ohio, but you guys are not. That is not a picture of you guys here. But I want you to know, as someone who's born and raised here in Columbus, I'm really hoping that this message gets out there about what's happening to Rifqa, but there's a broader message here, and I want to tell you about that specifically. People have said that, oh, Rifqa was brainwashed. I don't know if you've heard that in the media. Oh, she was brainwashed. Well, I want to tell you that's absolutely flat out not true. If anybody's doing the brainwashing, it's been Rifqa, because my life has been personally affected by Rifqa, by her faith. And so what I want to say for the next few minutes, I want to say that, when I met with her, I remember the first time we met with her, I took my wife, Brandy, and my daughter, and we sat down because I had never, first of all, it's not too often that you see teenagers, people in high school, that a lot of times, you're afraid of your faith or you're ashamed to admit that you're a Christian. But this girl, Rifqa, she was not ashamed. She was so bold, yet at the same time, she faced so much obstacles at home. So I wanted to see, I got to figure out what makes her tick, what makes somebody take such risk as her. So we sat down at a table, and I said, please tell me about your faith. And I can honestly tell you, I have never seen somebody who loves God and someone who loves people as much as I saw it in Rifqa. I've been to Bible college. I've been around pastors. I've beat my head against the wall to try to produce in our people that came to our church the love for God that I saw in Rifqa. I said, you have got to tell me your secret. And you know what her secret was? Prayer. Amen. Clinging to God. And so I sat there and I thought, there's a message here. And so I said, I think, God, you're going to use this girl to do something great. I have no idea what it is. I had my ideas of what she was going to do. But little did I know that a little over a year later, that here we find ourselves in a national debate as to over her life. And I'm convinced that I know what the struggle is about. And so I want you to know that none of this would be here today. We wouldn't be standing here today. There'd be no media talking today if a little girl hadn't decided, a 16-year-old girl hadn't decided that she was not going to walk away from her faith in Jesus as the Son of God because she had enough courage. She could have waited it out for a year. she could have been so easy for her to say, you know what, I'm 17, almost 17, I'll wait another year till I'm 18, then I'll live a free Christian life. She could have did that. It would have been easy. As a matter of fact, I've had a lot of Christians say, why didn't you just wait a year? Because she's got courage and boldness, and she wasn't willing to deny her faith. And so in that, there is a message. There is a message to the American church. And I come to you, I'm a former Muslim, was raised in a Muslim household, but I can tell you that right now I'm a part of the church. You say, what church? Well, there's only one church.
Amen.
The church that all people who belong to Jesus are a part of. There is a message in this that Rifqa is carrying to this country, to the American church, and it's this, that Rifqa was not a part of any slick discipleship programs. She was not a part of hip culture. Rifqa was not even a part of the institutional church. Rifqa is who she is today because she has a very deep personal relationship that comes through Jesus, through the cross, and she knows God not as the Islamic God of an angry God who just is somewhere off in the distance. She knows God very personally as a father. Actually, she calls him Daddy. I've heard her refer to God as Daddy, literally, in that sense. And because of that, literally, she has been sustained through her faith. And it's a wake-up call to me. It's a wake-up call to the American church. And secondly, it's also a wake-up call to the church in this area, that if you will send missionaries all over the world, if you will say, we're going to reach the nations, we're going to send people out, and we will literally lay our lives down on the line in the Middle East and all these places to see Muslims come to know the truth. And let me tell you that Muslims are coming to know Jesus in record. Don't forget about what you see on the news. Forget about all that stuff. There are underground churches. I've been to Iraq. I have been to Jordan. I have been to Egypt. There are underground churches springing up so fast, it's unprecedented. And they are being killed for their faith. If American Christians are willing to send missionaries there to stand with those people, you better be willing to do it here when people come to faith here. And this is a message to the American church, that this place, this block, this entire city ought to be filled not with people spewing hate, but people standing with Rifqa, saying, no, we will stand with you. If we're going to ask you to lay your life down for your faith, just like Rifqa did, just like people all over the Middle East do, then how about we lay our lives down as American Christians as well and say, we will stand with you. That is a message today. And the second message that we want to go out with and say, people say, oh, is this about hatred of Islam? This is about hatred of Muslims. It is not. It is not. I want to tell you, I love Muslims. I love all Muslims because my family are still Muslims. Most of my family are Muslims today. There's a difference between loving Muslims and hating hateful ideology. Now, I despise Islamic ideology because it enslaves people. We don't hate Germans, but we do hate Nazis, okay? We hate Nazi ideology. We don't hate Germans, though. It's the same difference, okay? So the deal is, what we want to say is that we love Muslims, and it is your time to come to know Jesus.
Amen.
So I'd like to finish here. I got this message that somebody wrote. If you just pardon me, I want to read it to you really quickly. I think it's fitting for our time. I think it's fitting. And I first want to speak it to the church. It was written to the nation, but I want to speak it to the church because it does certainly speak to us. And it says this, and I'll tell you where it came from, and maybe some of you have known. But this person made this statement. It says, we have been preserved these many years in peace and prosperity. Talking about this nation, I want to speak it to the church. This is true of the church in America. We have been preserved these many years in peace and prosperity. We have grown in numbers, wealth, and power as